Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. A little bit late today. Apologize, but here we are. It's Thursday. Thirsty Thursdays. We're here back at the station, back at the Bitcoin stacking headquarters, with Bitcoin at a price of $82,000. What to do? Right? On the was it the eve? No, not the eve of. On the following day of, the market's just getting wrecked. Tariffs are not good. Just to make it simple, tariffs are tax on the price of things, right? So when you're putting across the board tariffs across everything with all of our trading partners, you're not helping anybody. You're making it more tough on people that have to work for pay, right? Because the prices of everything are going to go up, and the tariffs do not include a pay bump for you. So how do you prevent yourself from getting just absolutely destroyed by these tariffs? Don't get me wrong, you're still gonna feel some pain. But taking your savings and getting them out of that inflationary system and putting them into Bitcoin is the best way to fight against these crazy tariffs. Okay? To protect yourself against the tariffs that will inevitably cause more inflation, and that inflation will eat away at your savings and you'll never get ahead. Koji Monster in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Koji Monster. Chillaxin. I just got caught up on all of the new tariffs. Tariff the world. Tariffing the world, and gonna get destroyed. So anyway, let's get the show rocking and jump into the first segment of the show, which is the Bitcoin strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $82,360.55. You can buy 1,214 Satoshis for a single dollar today. What is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis, so you can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin for as little as $1 or a penny. For a single penny today, you can buy 12 Satoshis. So it's very affordable, okay? And every single cent that you put into savings in Bitcoin becomes shielded from inflation, and it takes on the same properties as the whole Bitcoin, okay? Shielded from inflation, it's autonomous, it's no third-party risk if you take it off the exchange and you learn how to custody it yourself. So this is the way. Koji Monster says, news is depressing, but Bitcoin is on sale. That makes me feel good. That's true. That is definitely a positive outlook on that. So I'm watching, and people are saying it's going to go down further, down to the 70s and all this other stuff, and I don't really care. People are saying it's going to keep going down more, to not buy yet. And here the philosophy on the show is we buy every day, regardless of the price, because we understand what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is it's the scarcest thing you can own. And on days like today, when it's a little bit cheaper than we expect it to be, it's considered getting yourself a good deal, right? We look at our even our short buying history here on the show since May 22nd, 2023. And we can see that even within, it's been like less than 2 years. It'll be 2 years next month. We're still up about 60% on our savings in Bitcoin. So we're doing pretty good. And the plan here is to save in Bitcoin for at least 4 years before you touch that stack. So if you stack a stack today, plan on not using it or plan on not withdrawing it for at least 4 years from today, right? So every stack you're stacking, plan not to touch it for at least, let's say 4 years, right? because over the span of Bitcoin, since the history of Bitcoin, any 4-year window, if you're able to hold it for any 4-year window, you are in the positive. Okay, so it's pretty good. It's a pretty good thing to save in. All right, and even the show now, like the show hasn't even gone through its first full cycle of 4 years, and I think we're doing pretty well already. Okay, all right. That said, let's get into the second segment of the show that we like to call Why We Stack. And we kind of talked about this a little bit at the opening of the show. Why are we saving Bitcoin, especially right now with all these tariffs going crazy and just all these, just like it seems like the world's collapsing a little bit, right? Well, because if you take that value that you worked so hard for, your savings, and you put it into Bitcoin, and you take custody of that Bitcoin, it's with you, right? If you need to leave the country, if you need to move to a different state, a different jurisdiction where they're more favorable to you, right? Maybe you don't like the rules going into place, right? Just take your stuff with you. You can go take all of your savings with you without having to justify it to anybody, right? It'll be in Bitcoin, so it's hard to see where it is, right? And it keeps you mobile. There's no risk of confiscation or seizure because it's not within the grasp of the government or any institution because it exists on the Bitcoin network, and only the person with that seed phrase has access to those funds. And if you're the only one with the seed phrase, then you're the only one with access to those funds, right? Whoa, that's an accidental gong right there. Accidentally gonged. But yeah, so that's why we stack. That's one of the reasons why we stack. The other reason why we stack, the main reason why we stack here on the show, is because we understand that saving in Bitcoin grows your purchasing power over time. Okay, so what we like to do here every episode, we give you this elevator pitch. It's a simple elevator pitch, and you can dissect this at your own on your own time, and come back with any questions if you have any questions. Okay. We save in Bitcoin because saving in Bitcoin is like traveling back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold a Bitcoin that represents those hours. If you can grasp and start to understand that statement, you're well on your way to understanding why we need Bitcoin, what the problem with the money is, and how Bitcoin solves that problem. And so there it is, in as short of a statement as possible. Saving in Bitcoin is getting on the lazy river and letting the lazy river push you towards financial freedom. And saving in dollars is trying to unsuccessfully and with much effort try to swim up a waterfall against the torrent of money printing. You will never be able to work hard enough, fast enough, productively enough to build wealth faster than the money is being debased at. Well, maybe if you come up with an awesome product that sells a lot and it's like unique in a certain way, and you have some kind of monopoly on a market that you created from scratch, then yeah, you could beat inflation. But unless you have something like that, there's no way you're gonna beat inflation. Just the rate is too high, right? You can say I want to work my way to prosperity. You won't be able to, because unless you're getting a raise every year of at least 10%, you're losing money. You're losing money in that your salary is not growing faster than the real rate of inflation, right? So the only way is to become an investor in something, and the best thing to invest in is Bitcoin because it's the less risk of everything else, and it's the fastest growing of all the asset classes, right? All right, that's why we stack. So I hope you grasp that. If you have any questions, do put it in the chat. If you have any questions and you're watching the replay, leave a comment, and I will answer that in the following episode. Thanks for tuning in. All right, that's done. let's talk about our stack, okay? Let's jump into the stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We actually do it. We buy Bitcoin here on the show. We talk about it, and we are about it. Okay? We talk about it, and talk about it and be about it. So today, In 2025, we've saved $2,580 into Bitcoin, and we're currently down about 10%. It's scary. It can be scary if you don't understand how Bitcoin works and what's going on. We've acquired 2.8 million Satoshis, in other words, 0.0281624 Bitcoin. And the current value of that Bitcoin is 2,220. Like I said, in other words, 10% down on our stack. Sounds scary, I know. We did the same thing. We tracked just 2024 last year. And in that stack, we saved $7,345. And the current value of that stack, the current value of that 12.2 million Satoshis is $10,000. So on our stack for 2024, we are up 37%. Okay. Before 2024, when we actually started the show on May 22nd, 2023, we started buying Bitcoin back when Bitcoin is 27,260, about $5 that day. That $5 has turned into $14.83. Our whole stack from the beginning of the show of purchases we've made, including 2025 and 2024, and since May 22nd, 2023, we've saved $13,409 into Bitcoin. That's crazy. I'm not even a saver, guys. Bitcoin's turning into a saver. Just here on the show, during live streams, during purchases here that we've done on the show, we've saved $13,409 and accumulated 25 million Satoshis, 0.25 Bitcoin, a quarter of a Bitcoin. That quarter of a Bitcoin today would cost us 58% more of today's weaker dollars. It would cost us $21,254 for the same amount of Bitcoin that we were able to purchase for $13,400. So what is that telling you? It's reflecting that the price of Bitcoin is going up in terms of dollars because the dollars are getting weaker. Your dollars are able to purchase less and less Bitcoin over time, just like your dollars are able to purchase less and less home over time, less and less groceries over time, less and less cars over time. It's not because the cars are getting better or your home is getting better or your old house is getting better. It's not because the food is tasting better. No, it's because the percentage of the economy that it takes to pay for those goods stays the same, but the money supply has expanded so much that you need more of that money supply to justify the percentage of that supply to pay for that good. I know, that's a hard one. That's a weird one. I know. Let's go over that one again. Let's say that it costs me, let's say that there's only $100 in existence, that the whole dollar system is made up of $100 only. Okay. And I'm going to buy myself the world's most expensive taco. The world's most expensive taco costs $5. Okay. And remember, this is in a world where only $100 exist. In a world where only $100 exists, my taco cost me $5, and that means that taco cost me 5% of the money supply. Because of all the effort it takes to make that taco, growing the corn to make the tortilla, raising the cow to make the beef. We're doing carne asada tacos today. Growing the lemons, the lime, the salsa, whatever you're gonna put in the taco, all that stuff. It takes about 5% of the world's money to create that taco. Okay. All right. So that's the cost. Now, if we expand the money supply from $100 in existence to $200 in existence, my taco is still going to cost about 5% of the world's money supply to create. So now my taco that used to cost $5, now it's going to cost me $10 because the taco is still worth the 5% of the money supply. And since the money supply grew to $200, 5% of 200 is 10, right? So that is how that is why prices are going up. It's the same idea, but just on a larger scale. And and not just one money supply expansion that you can see clearly and easily, one big giant jump like doubling the money. No, it's consistently expanding gradually and not so gradually these days, and the prices are continuing to go up to justify the percentage cost of the economic pie of value to justify creation of that product. That's why things keep going up in price. Okay, that's why my taco that used to cost me $5 in a world where $100 existed now costs me $10 in a world where $200 exists. So again, same exact taco, the same thing that went into producing that taco before and after the money supply increase. But in order for the taco to be produced, to raise the cow, to grow the corn, to make the tortillas, all that stuff, it takes about 5% of the economy's worth of labor or whatever you want to call it to produce that product. So there it is. That's why the prices go up as the money supply increases to try to recoup some of that loss. Otherwise, what happens if the taco salesman doesn't increase the price of his taco to 5% doesn't adjust the price of his taco to 5% of the economy? In other words, to $10 a taco, he's now eating the loss. He's eating the cost of production. He's not even going to be making a profit, right? And into that supply chain of making that taco, they don't all get together and raise the prices at the same time, right? Maybe like the guy that makes the tortilla didn't realize the money supply expanded and he's just kind of like taking a loss unknowingly. And at the end of the month, he realizes, oh shoot, I need to raise the cost of the tortillas I make because the cost of me watering these plants is up. Oh, my taxes on my property where I grow the corn went up, right? So now now he realizes he needs to raise the price. So there's a lag between when the money supply increases and when the different parts of the economy actually sense it and adjust to it, right? Well, what happens in that lag? In that lag, the people that are closest to the money printer, this is called the Cantillon effect. The people that are closer to that money printer get that fresh money off the printer when it's worth the most before the rest of the world has a chance to adjust its prices and to adjust to the money supply expansion. So by the time it trickles down to the regular people, the guy actually buying the taco or selling the taco, that money is worth less and less. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, I don't know how we got onto that topic, but I hope you guys appreciate that. Again, if you have any questions, put it in the chat, or else I'm prone to just go off on a tangent. Okay, so now let's jump into where were we? Stack recap. We're done with the stack recap. It's on some music, guys. So we're stack recapping. We're done. Now let's get into I guess today. Yeah, today again the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price of 93,000. So, Koji, you speak Spanish? That's nice, dude. Koji. Okay. So for the 43rd or something, 42nd or 43rd day in a row, we'll be buying a double stack because the price of Bitcoin is still below our average buy price for 2025. So today at 82,000, I wish 28,000. At 82,000, we're going to hit that buy button, okay? So now that we know how much Bitcoin we need to buy today, there's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some Bitcoin. I feel like I'm missing a segment or something. Let's see. Here. I'm bringing up my Strike app. Hit that buy button. Key in $40. Hit next. All right, I'm at the confirmation screen. I'm gonna cut the music. I'm gonna hit that like. I'm gonna hit that like button. I'm gonna hit that drum roll. Buying $40 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Bitcoin Show. Here we go. Confirming. Right there. $40 worth of Bitcoin coming in hot. fresh baked Bitcoin. Fresh baked Bitcoin bread. Stacking the bread, stacking the Bitcoin. Today we accumulated an additional 47,935 Satoshis. Choo! Today's 4/3/25. And let's see, we are at 82,000. The price of Bitcoin we deserve today is $82,653.59. We purchased $40 worth of Bitcoin. That got us 0.00047,935 Bitcoin, which translates into 47,935 Satoshis. Dang. Dang, it feels good to be a stacker. Boom. Boom. See, so for 2025, we put in so far $2,620 into our savings, to our Bitcoin savings. And we're going to add this stack to the whole lifespan of the show. Here we go. Look at all that red. Man, when Bitcoin turns around, it's going to be awesome. Stacking down here at the bottom. Waiting for the top. Let's see. Our stack for Bitcoin so far for the whole lifespan of the show is up to 0.3530546. And we're working on that 5, getting it to a 6. We're making way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, slow and steady. Slow and steady. You know, we look at the price. And for those that are thinking like, hey, let's buy some Bitcoin, let's flip it and make some money real quick. For those of you that are here for like the quick gains, that's not what we do here. When we see the price of Bitcoin these days drop, I don't care if it goes to 81. I don't care if it goes to 70. I don't care if it goes back to 58K, gang. Okay? My strategy is the same. I'm going to buy at least $20 each day. And when it's below my average buy price for the year, I'm going to buy double. If it's the lowest I've seen for the year, I'm going to buy quadruple stack, right? So it's either 20, 40, or 80, regardless of what Bitcoin does. Up, down, sideways. Okay? Because I'm here for the 4-year, I'm here for a minimum of 4 years, right? The purchases that I'm making here on the show, I've set myself up so that that money that I'm putting into these shows is not money that I need immediately. It's not money that I need on an emergency. It's just money that I would consider lost, right? Not really. I wouldn't consider it lost, but you know what I mean? Like, it's money that I don't need. I have enough. I make enough at my job to pay my bills, to do what the fun things I want to do, right? And this is money that I would be spending on things that are probably not even good for me, right? Spend them on like coffees, spend them on like boba, spend them on trinkets from Amazon that I use once or not even use, and just order it and to go sit somewhere in my office and just collect dust, right? I'd rather have the Satoshis that those things represent than those things that are not going to serve me in my life, right? And just like, you know, they say like a penny saved, a penny earned. A penny saved, that's 11 Satoshis earned, right? I don't know. It's like finding different ways to stack a little bit helps, you know. Every little bit helps. I know it sounds weird, even if it's the penny, even if it's collecting the cans at home that you don't use. Maybe it's not worth it to you to collect your cans and recycle them. You just kind of put them in the recycle bin and give them away. Take them to the recycling center. Get yourself an extra $20. Take those $20 and buy Bitcoin with it, and just pretend it never happened. You're gonna throw that money away anyway, right? Little things like that. Find little things like that that'll help you add to your stack, even if it today seems insignificant, right? A $20 stack. What's a $20 stack right now at these prices? Well, is it like half of what we just made, right? So like you still get over 20,000 Satoshis, right? 20,000 Satoshis is not bad. 20,000 Satoshis for like a couple of trash can, a couple bags of recycled cans. Something that you're going to throw away anyway. You're throwing away Satoshis. You're throwing away Satoshis. Okay? So anyway, I hope you guys found the show enjoyable and fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show, the Friday episode. Make sure you tune in for that. Maybe we'll do some memes tomorrow. Yeah, let's do some memes tomorrow. Make it a little bit more fun. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. I'll see you tomorrow. And I guess remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later. Bye, Koji Monster. Adiós, amigo. Saludos desde San Diego para Koji Monster. Hasta luego. Si no estás ahorrando en Bitcoin, estás perdiendo. Adiós.